The downfall of BluSmart.
The beauty of the BluSmart model was
Obviously, some of this was happening with IIDA's knowledge, by the way.
6 crores for mother, 2 crores for wife, 26 lakh for a golf set, 50 lakh in Ashneer Grower's third unicorn.
look, none of this happened solely in BluSmart. It happened on the Gensol Services, a public listed company who was not into fundraising.
Screw BluSmart. Here are the best BluSmart alternatives. Welcome to this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello, friends.
If you're watching us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel below. Awesome. Let's get started with some funny shit from this week. Hard times create manufacturing men. Manufacturing men create higher GDP. Higher GDP creates SaaS men. SaaS men create hard times.
Look at three SaaS men talking about this.
Moving on to Swiggy's law. The laws of universe state that you can either live at a walkable distance from your office or you can get a Swiggy credit card, but not both.
Oh, God.
Look at this.
Things that men do for a credit card.
My brother in Christ, I don't think lying about my work address is going to assure my application acceptance either. Moving on to my new LinkedIn update. I'm thrilled to announce that I made a bunch of LinkedIn animates that should exist. Here's the first one. Threw a colleague under the bus.
Dude, this guy has made a bunch of these and all are funny.
Yeah. So follow Ramyak Jain if you want to see more cringe LinkedIn stuff.
Kudos to you, man.
I forced my girlfriend to quit her job, not because I'm controlling, because I believe in unlocking human capital. Babe, you're operating at 40% CPU. This is an inefficient deployment of your core skill stack. Oh
Oh,
my god, my
God.
girlfriend will kill me if I speak like this.
Shawnity has a new address, man. Damn.
If you use INR million, please stay away from me. Hard agree.
100%. 100%.
Plus 100, bro. I mean,
If you say
that's.
plus 100 instead of typing it, please stay away from me. Moving on to how Swiggy cares. Swiggy will say delivery in 20 minutes and casually change it to 50 minutes and stay at 10 minutes for 90 minutes.
The world moves slow when you work at Swiggy.
Now let's move on to our weekly chatter. How lazy are we getting? Oh, this is too funny.
Yeah, I saw
But
this.
this customer basically booked a porter to just walk across a different tower in the same complex.
Smart or lazy? What do you guys think?
Bro, FIFA, bro, priorities.
Was this you, Saksham?
No, my friends are not playing with me anymore.
Do offers excite you anymore? There is a perpetual sale everywhere I look. 50% off means nothing to me now. I buy when I buy. Offers have stopped working to make me take an action urgently. This is so true, man. I feel like India as a country, because we love discounts and offers and sales, we've just overdone it.
For me,
Yeah.
this post still screams privilege, privilege, privilege first. I don't think this is true for majority of the country yet.
I actually remember a Bloom's report like from 3 years ago or 2 years ago, maybe one of their first editions of the Bloom report, where they had mentioned that there was an e-commerce section, and it mentioned that it's very hard to convince an Indian customer to buy on e-commerce without offering a discount because they have gotten habituated to it. That's the
Yeah.
reason why they overprice stuff and then provide a discount so that you feel that you are getting something out of it.
Consumer needs to feel empowered, right? It's all about that. But I also feel, it's a little anecdotal to say, because if this discount today is on a general apparel brand, these brands are earning these discounts day in day out. It doesn't make a big difference. But if you're ordering food from Swiggy and you get 50% off, I think you're more likely to 100% order that food, because one, the ticket size is low, and second, it makes a huge difference for a lot of the daily use cases when you get such high discounts, not for things like clothes, etc., which you're either ways buying, once in a while.
The
Yeah.
irony of these is the luxury brands or the brands that they claim to be luxurious coming out of India, right? When they do shit like this, that they offer like a 50% discount or a 30% discount, that goes against their ethos. Like you see a Rolex, you see a Louis Vuitton, or you see any of these real luxury brands which have been scaled for like 20 years or 30 years, they never offer you discount. That's how they stand by the brand. even if they have like 100% margin, 200% margins, 500% margin also, they choose to like burn their stock if it gets sold, but they will never give you discount. These brands that are coming out of India now, if you're claiming yourself to be in a luxury category, it's a learning for you that you should not be offering discount no matter how much bad your sales
Yeah,
are.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's the rarity, right? If your product is rare and very hard to get, that essentially gives it an exclusive feeling, which means you can price it as much as you can. But I completely agree to this. I remember like maybe like a year and a half back when I was super active on Swiggy. Almost every day I used to order. The moment I don't get a 15-20% off, I just refuse to just make that order. I try to find another restaurant where I get the offer. So yeah, I feel like these offers have just kind of lost their shine over a period of time.
Yeah, it also depends on the purchase size, right? Like I recently bought an air conditioner. Getting a 10-15% discount made a huge difference for me. But 10% on a cloth, maybe it doesn't make a big difference. So it's also about how much, is expensive is the thing that you're going to buy. And basis that your mindset also changes.
I think it's how you got wired over a period of time by your experiences of buying online. Like Pete's example, he got so used to of buying through Swiggy or a Zomato that discount became part of his process. But if you are never trained, like if Swiggy and Zomato would have never offered him, or if they are told that you'll get first three orders on discount and after that you'll not get it, probably like Pete would not have that expectation.
But India
I think
is very abundance mindset. No, there is so many options available everywhere. It would be in an instant like, okay, sure, you're not giving me discount. I'll go find something else that gives me a discount.
Pavan, does this mean you're never going to run offers for Pantomax again?
guys, 50% off. Hit a comment here.
Okay.
Moving on, Swiggy's entering a huge market. And guess whose post this is? We'll get to that later, but
Pete's
Swiggy
favorite.
Swiggy launched the Ping consumer app where people can book astrologers, brokers, dance instructors, financial experts, fitness trainers. Financial experts will be probably Ravi Sudhanjani, but a bunch of
And Ravi
different.
Handa.
Not probably, definitely.
Yeah. But what do you
Hmm.
guys think? Saksham, do you want to go first?
Urban Company plus plus.
No, it's Astrotalk plus plus, Urban Company plus plus,
Cult.
Practo plus plus.
Cult plus plus.
I
I
would be
think
really
it's
happy if they would
exciting.
have gone deep into one category, solved it really well, and then expanded. But yeah, Swiggy being Swiggy, let's see how it will pan out.
Dude, but it's crazy that after like while there were specific niches where these apps operate in. For example, there is Astro Talk for astrologers. There is Urban Company for cleaning professionals. I'm so surprised that there isn't like an app like this which basically just creates a marketplace of all types of services, whether it's bartending services, painting, plumbing, astrology, anything, right?
Yeah,
Why
this
do you think there
actually,
is?
if done well, this could potentially become a huge competition for all of these apps single-handedly. And then Swiggy, essentially, the way I look at this is Swiggy is openly challenging all of these large players which are operating in the industry head on. And obviously, it's going to be a huge challenge to execute this across so many different industries, different use cases, etc. But I am really excited to see what they do because, again, capital is not a problem, credibility is not a problem. And
Pete,
I
just
think
to
that goes a long way.
Pete, just to answer your question, right? There are two simple reasons for it. Every use case that you're seeing on your screen here, may it be urban company or it might be like the beauty or the practo, has two parts to it. One is demand and supply. When urban company entered this game, they had to build the supply. They had to train this professional. They had to put efforts to understand the user persona, and then the demand came and then it became a product. But right now there is an excess supply in the market. These people who are not so happy with urban company, or these doctors who are not so happy with practo, who have been used to of consulting digitally or understanding the app ecosystem, are already available in the market. So it becomes easy for Swiggy to acquire them, and they already have demand. The distribution is already created, so it
Hmm.
makes sense right now to do that. I don't think so. That's a very wrong move. But it also shows that how food delivery as a sector doesn't have large moats anymore. It's a very thin margin business, and they are not able to defend the valuation at they are, which with Instamart being a big margin maker there.
Yeah.
Second, like you need to like understand that market is gonna consolidate somehow, some way in the near future. these things who you imagined not to be your competitor someday will become your competitor the other day.
One of the things which is interesting to me, and I was just thinking about this actually over the last weekend, is it's so interesting to see companies who are building in slightly non-regulated spaces. There is so much opportunity of just experimentation because they're not bound by restrictions at all times. And I think
Dude,
that's something
I
at least
fully
we
agree.
miss in our industry. And I mean, I'm also, while it's so heartening, I'm also slightly jealous, to be
I
honest.
hear pain, Saksham. I hear pain
100%.
for.
I am slightly jealous about this. Why can't we
Saksham,
do so
look,
much
a
experimentation?
comment from your burner account.
Oh God, this is my brother's fake ID.
The downfall of BlueSmart. Pawan, I know when we spoke, you mentioned about how BlueSmart's business model was quite different from the usual Ola and Uber out there. Do you want to take a quick minute and just educate the audience about how they were different?
Okay, great. So the cab hailing business as well as the taxi business has not seen real innovation from real long time. The last innovation that came into this industry was Uber. Actually, was a wrapper on top of GPS plus smartphone, which increased the demand for uh, cab guys as well, where it became more easy for them to find rides, and as well as for people like you and me who could just press a button and had a convenience to get a cab at their doorstep. Now, after Uber, there have been Ola, there have been Rapido, there have been numerous companies who copied this model, who built a tech equivalent, and there was a marketplace as a financial model there where cab hailing drivers will join the platform, who own their car, who will make sure that their fuel is on their account, so on and so forth. And there were people like us who would order the cab. The beauty of the BlueSmart model was the drivers were on the payroll of BlueSmart, which meant that they were liable to provide good service, as well as the cars that were being taken by BlueSmart to provide to these drivers were leased through a financial company called as Gensol, which is this entire model is very similar to what happens in the aeroplane industry, where none of these airlines actually are owned by this Indigo or an Akasa, but there is a financial leasing company who buys it from an Airbus or buys it from an Boeing and leases it to an Indigo or a Ryanair or an Air India, so on and so forth. And for every ride that Indigo earns, a part of that goes to the leaser, basically the financial company. This is what the innovation that was done by BlueSmart. Apart from that, they ensured drivers were trusted and drivers were well trained. They got fixed salary, which increased their service capability for end users. They also ensured that they bring EV as a model rather than just normal cars because it becomes more economical. They also ensured that all these EVs have like good charging stations which are powered by solar, so cost comes down. So these were a lot of financial engineering innovation that were done in BlueSmart.
Okay, Pawan, you covered a lot of stuff about reinventing the wheel, financial engineering, etc. But Saksham, let's talk about fraud, right? And I think that's exactly what happened over here. BlueSmart and Gensol's promoter Anmol Jaggi used loans meant for buying EVs to purchase a flat DLF, a DLF flat basically. What are your thoughts on this, dude? Like Indian startups has been getting a lot of bad rap for doing shady shit like this. Do you think this is just one of the many, stuff to happen to us?
Yeah, so two things actually. Let me start with just explaining to our audience on what exactly happened. Why is BlueSmart in trouble? What is the flack that they've been getting, right? So, like Pawan mentioned, BlueSmart has thrived on this EV leasing model, right? Now, look at it this way: there are two companies. There is an organization called Gensol, and then there is BlueSmart. Gensol is the EV leasing company, who is also a solar manufacturing company essentially, and the EVs that are being used and being rented by BlueSmart are powered by these solar engines. Now, while Gensol always remained a separate entity, a lot of the money was being pushed from Gensol to BlueSmart, and it was not benefiting any of the investors of Gensol. And Gensol was not being transparent about how much money was flowing into BlueSmart. Because BlueSmart was into this leasing business, it created a huge financial risk. And all of this downfall has happened. And when SEBI actually, and obviously some of this was happening with IRDA's knowledge, by the way, who stated that some of this funding will go from a Gensol to a BluSmart, and it will be help to sort of accelerate growth. Now the challenge where it has come in is, why did this financial risk happen? Where was this money put in? So as the screenshot that Pete you are now showing, right? It's just baffling to me, right? What
Let's
is
talk
what
about
is
this. Let's talk about it. 6 crores for mother, 2 crores for wife, 26 lakh for a golf set, 50 lakh in Ashneer Grover's third unicorn. Among line items on how Anmol Singh Jaggi used Gensol funds.
the most
I only
interesting
have
thing for
one.
me, guys? Sorry, Pawan. The most interesting thing for me, and tell me if this makes sense, is if they have done so much fundraising, right? How did some of these things not come across when a fundraising was happening, right? Everyone does the due diligence, right? So I'm also a little curious and confused to say, when everything is going right, everyone wants to be a part of that bandwagon, and once things go south, everybody is an expert and everybody has these insights that they're able to pull out.
Look, none of this happened solely in BluSmart. It happened on the Gensol Services, a public listed company who was not into fundraising.
Yeah.
BluSmart, if you see, was a clean company in some way, but they were taking all the help from their friends at Gensol, which was involved in this. But if Gensol
Not
goes
friends,
down,
right? Anmol Jaggi is one of the founders of BlueSmart. So he's Gensol
I
and BlueSmart. So it's the same guy.
I think
Uh,
so. Like intent is the one word which needs to be seen through. I know that now a lot of VCs are coming in telling that, oh, we knew about this. BlueSmart was offered to me also, but I passed because I only guys. Sure,
Yeah,
if
see,
you
look at
knew about
this.
it,
This is what I'm talking
yeah.
about. In 2 years, you have 180 plus unique investors. You've done more than 10, 15 Series A rounds. And if you just open one of the screenshots, Pete, right? Just look at it. It's so interesting. Between a lot of these 50 plus crore rounds or 30 plus crore rounds, there are two specific rounds of just one and a half, 2 crores. Why would you raise 1 crore after raising 200 crores? Look at
yeah,
Jan
what is it,
15.
bro? You raise a round, go down for a chai, come back, and you're raising another round. What?
Yeah.
Isn't
And
this
this,
because Griffin West was doing a whole bunch? Oh, maybe they were doing bonds.
Yeah, this might be like the Win 12 thingy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. I
hmm.
mean, still a little weird, but that's it's understandable, I would say. But look, guys, look, everything has been spoken about BlueSmart, about Gensol, etc. But let's ask the larger question, right? Is this going to affect how foreign investors and or just anybody in general perceive and look at Indian startups? Because this is not the first thing that's happened, right? We know Byju's, we know a bunch of companies where shady shit went down. How do you think Indian startup ecosystem is going to be perceived after this?
Guys, I'll give you an example and equals from the different side of the world. In Indonesia, the market is very dry from last 7 8 months now, because 7 or 8 months ago there was one scam which was busted by a company called as eFishery, which was a fishing equipment slash fishing commodity company which raised capitals upwards of some 400 or 500 million, and the founder fucked off to Dubai after taking the capital. After that, there hasn't
Samallo
been
only, bro.
so there are consistent investments in Indonesia as a full sector. This is so pathetic to understand this, because there are genuine startups who are trying to build, but they will not get capital because one of the startups did a big fraud and they ran away and they did not have to answer to them.
Okay, guys, screw BlueSmart. Here are the best BlueSmart alternatives. Chauffeur. Saksham Pavan, have you guys used Chauffeur?
I love
Yes,
Just
Shopper.
giggling.
Early
yes.
user, I really like it. It's so just to explain to our users, BlueSmart is Shopper is not a oops. Shopper is not an instant cab service. It's a cab service that you have to book in advance, and it's limited to the certain rides and certain routes that you can essentially use. But super professional drivers, great cars. In fact, one of the first cab services in India that have water bottles in the car. So for every time you're
Saksham,
going a
quick
long drive.
question. Did you use the tissue that's been provided to you in the cab?
Water and candies I've used.
Yo, Pavan, do you want to give a quick word on Chauffeur?
I have not used Chauffeur till now. I
Superb.
wasn't
Thanks
going
for the
to.
feedback. Moving on to Evera. I have not heard about this fucking company until I did a ChatGPT search just before this recording. But have you guys heard of them? Have you guys used Saksham? I think they're predominantly present in NCR region. Have you come across this?
Yeah, but I live in Bangalore, no, Pete. How is it relevant?
I mean, you might have some Gunda friends in Delhi and all, no?
No, I have not used this, brother. I'm sorry.
Okay. Moving on to Savari. Savari is a service that I've used a lot, but not for local rides. Mostly for round trips. One in case I'm going to Kodaikanal with a bunch of friends and we don't want to drive because some of us. Anyway, yeah, I've used Savari. It's a pretty good. It's a pretty good service. I've always had great experience with them. Even if they're going to be delayed by 5 minutes, they call. They profusely apologize for some reason, but they keep me posted each and every step of the journey. What about you
Yeah.
guys? Have you guys used
I
this?
No.
I have not used it, but I really like the name because in Hindi, Savari literally means passenger. So it's a very, very nice
Wow, we
name.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Pete didn't. So
Are there any other cab services that you guys like that you guys think we should have covered?
yeah, yeah. There is this cab service in Bangalore called Volta, Volta, and they are also doing
Spelling?
similar EV Volta, Volta, and they are doing the same thing around zero commission, no surge pricing, safe and secured, and it's EV vehicle. So they are a proper direct competition to what BluSmart was doing.
Oh, crazy. Oh, they're headquartered in Hyderabad. Are they present in
Yeah,
Bangalore as well?
they are. They are. I've seen. I mean, I've not
Perfect.
used them yet at the airport, but they are. Yeah.
So
This
guys,
is how
don't worry because BlueSmart is down. There are so many different types of cab hailing apps that we can use. Once they all shut, let's go find something else after that. But till then, we are safe.
Yeah.
But yes, that's it from this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. For people saying that our audio is still bad, bro, we bought mics, dude. It shouldn't be bad right now. We don't know what to do.
bro, right
See,
now it was
guys.
great. Now when you picked it.
But yeah, that's it from this week. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. We are hoping to get it to the 2,000 followers by the end of May. So yeah, please help us out. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
This was happening in US as well, where it was called OnlyFans, but it's okay.
How did you go from this to OnlyFans, Pavan?
Use cases were different. It's okay.
Oh God. Okay. Let's move
Cool.
on this note.
But guys at Shopper, if you guys are listening to this, we can accelerate your coding. Please get in touch with us at Panto.
Yeah, we're cutting this bit off for sure.
100% we are cutting this. 100% we are cutting this, Pavan. How dare you?
No, no, it's fine. We'll see. Um,
Okay, next.